I love designing with twisted stitches, but sometimes it can be a little tricky to know how to hide the decreases. So I'm going to show you what I use for my patterns. There are two kinds that I use, and one I call the Knit Two Together Twist, and the other is the SSK Twist. Now the Knit Two Together Twist uses the twisted stitch first, and then it hides the purl stitch behind it. I'll show you how I do this. My patterns call to insert the right needle purlwise into the first stitch, and then while it's still in the stitch, you insert the needle through the front loop of the next stitch, and it sort of crosses it over like that. You're going to come over and draw a loop through both stitches, sort of like if it was a regular knit two together. And you'll see that it hides the decrease behind the newly formed twisted stitch. And then you just go on your way. The next decrease I'm going to show you is what I call an SSK twist. And even though it's called SSK, this decrease is going to lean to the right. What is SSK about it is its construction, and I'll show you how to do that. The first set of instructions says to slip one stitch onto the cable needle and hold it in the back. Next, we're going to slip the next stitch on the left needle purlwise onto the right needle. Next, we take the stitch that's on the cable needle and slip it knitwise this time onto the right needle. Now, just like you would with a regular SSK, we're going to slip the left needle through the front loops of the two stitches on your right needle and knit them together just like you would with a regular SSK. And you'll see that it hides the decrease then behind the twisted stitches. So I love that method. And then we keep going with the twisted stitch and then the purl background. To show you that one more time, I'm going to start again with that Knit Two Together Twist. At least that's what I call it. Now it's going to form a lean to the left, even though it's called Knit Two Together, but that's because of its construction rather than the way it leans. So for this one, we're going to go purlwise into the first stitch, twist the needle tip around, go through the front loop of the purl stitch that comes next on the needle, knit the two together, just like you would for a K2 together, and drop them off your needle. So the decrease is hidden nicely behind that twisted stitch. We'll keep going over to the next decrease. And this one I call an SSK decrease. Even though it really leans to the right, the SSK is the construction that I'm referring to rather than the way it's leaning. So we're going to slip one purlwise onto the cable needle, like that, hold it in the back. The next stitch we're going to slip purlwise onto the right needle, like that. Then we take that stitch that was on the cable needle and we're going to slip it knitwise onto the right needle, like that. Then we're going to insert the tip of the left needle into the front loops of both those right-hand needle stitches, just like you would with a regular SSK. Get the cable needle out of there. And then knit those two together. And you'll see it forms a nice decrease hidden behind the twisted stitch. So it's a little unorthodox, but this is the way I like to do my decreases for things like hats that use twisted stitches. I hope you find that helpful, and I hope you enjoy knitting up my pattern.